St. Louis sports fans, go deeper with STL Sports Central Insiders. Get exclusive access to Bernie, Randy, Claves, Jamal Mayers, and more, plus your chance to watch a Blues game in the alumni box with Jamal himself. Monthly giveaways, Bernie's columns all week, and support for local sports media. Join now at stlsportscentral.com.
Hey there, greetings. Let me scratch my nose. Greetings and welcome to the second day of the week of the Bernie Show here on STL Sports Central this Tuesday, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. I am Bernie Miklasz. I've been writing and talking about St. Louis area sports since 1985. You probably know me. You may be sick of me. You might like me. I don't know. I do 5 videos and write 5 columns each week here on STL Sports Central. Also do a hit on the Randy Carricker Show each week, and you can catch me frequently throughout the week. Multiple programs on KMO XFM and AM. Today's topic, well, it looks like Cardinals manager Oli Marmol will receive a contract extension to keep him in place past 2026. Not that there's been any announcement made, but we'll explain here in a minute. A couple of weeks ago, President of Baseball Operations Chaim Bloom alluded to his early discussions with Marmol about a new contract, but he didn't elaborate. Monday at the baseball winter meetings in Orlando, Bloom had a lot more to say about this when Post-Dispatch columnist Ben Hochman asked about the possibility of extending Marmol. Here is Bloom's answer, and I quote from Hochman's Tuesday column, which you should read, and you can find it on stltoday.com. Quote, I've really enjoyed getting to know Oli, Bloom said. I've enjoyed the relationship that we built during the couple of years I was in that role, meaning the advisory role, and the relationship continues to develop and grow. Bloom added, quote, I'm hopeful that this is something where we can, let me do this again. I'm hopeful that this is something where we get to work together for a long time, and I've really enjoyed how the relationship is progressing, but nothing specifically to share on that. Well, he didn't really have to share any more than that, because while Bloom did not confirm the obvious and maybe gave himself just a little bit of wiggle room, it's pretty obvious where this is heading with what he said there. Oli Marmol will be managing the Cardinals into the future unless something unexpected changes, and he'll be a central figure in the rebuilding project. Cardinals fans who dislike Marmol will have even more reason to complain about his presence as manager. Hey, listen, that's your preference. You can like him, dislike him. It's your opinion, and you certainly are entitled to express it. Now, I want to make this clear. I'm not swerving out of my way just to annoy you here. But once again, I just think I think any chance to put some perspective on this, I think it's something I should do. And I want to remind everyone about Marmol's first 4 seasons as the Cardinals manager compared to Tony La Russa's first 4 seasons as a Cardinals manager, because I think that's important for context. All right, the first 4 season winning percentage: Marmol 502, La Russa 493. Postseason appearances: 1 for La Russa and 1 for Marmol. To La Russa's credit, he got the 1996 Cardinals in his first season all the way to Game 7 of the NLCS before they got eliminated in a blowout. Marmol's 22 Cardinals, a very, very good team in his first season, were swept by the Phillies in a 2-game wild card round. Division titles in the first 4 years: La Russa had 1, Marmol had 1. Losing seasons in the first 4 seasons: 2 losing seasons for La Russa and 2 for Marmol. Manager of the Year voting: La Russa received votes 1 time in 4 seasons. Marmol received votes in 2 of 4 seasons. Consecutive years of not making the playoffs: we have a tie. La Russa 3 in a row from 97 through 99. Marmol 3 in a row from 23 through 25. Marmol had a talented, highly capable team in 2022. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt won the MVP. Nolan Arenado finished 3rd, had a career year. Then you had Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina in their final seasons as Cardinals together. So the Cardinals, I believe, could have gone a long way, but Marmol squandered Game 1 of the Philly series by reacting too slowly when closer Ryan Helsley imploded in the 9th inning, and that cost the Cardinals the win and the series. That said, and again, I criticize the hell out of Marmol for that and for some other things. But that said, if you look at this thing fairly, the Cardinals over the last 3 seasons since the start of 23, they've been pretty light in talent, relatively speaking, in their failure to qualify for the postseason in all 3 years. But let me throw this in here because it's something new that I've mentioned before. In La Russa's 3 straight seasons of failing to make the playoffs, that was 97, 98, 99. Here's a list of some of the players and pitchers he had on those teams for various lengths of time. The hitters included Mark McGwire, Ray Langford, Brian Jordan, Ron Gant, J.D. Drew, Edgar Renneria, Fernando Tatis Sr., Delino DeShields, and Gary Gaetti, and there were others. The pitchers included Matt Morris, Andy Bennis, Todd Stoudemire, Darren Oliver, Alan Bennis, the young Rick Ankiel, and a career best season from Ken Bottenfield, who went 18-7 in 1999. And they flipped them wisely for Jim Edmonds next spring. From 97 through 99, the Cardinals had 9 different starting pitchers who performed better than the league average in adjusted ERA. The bullpen was a little sketchy, but Dennis Eckersley was fine for a couple of years, and the Cardinals had plenty of relievers who performed above the league average level. Obviously, we're talking about small sample sizes, and I'm not saying that those bullpens La Russa had were great. They weren't, but they were adequate. I think objective people would agree with me when I say Marmol, in comparison to La Russa, had less talent to work with when each manager went through their 3 consecutive seasons of missing the playoffs. La Russa also had the benefit of working for a truly motivated Bill DeWitt Jr. and general manager Walt Jocketty, at a time where DeWitt had just bought the team, and he was pouring all kinds of money into an increasingly larger payroll, and Jocketty was aggressive in upgrading the talent with trades and signings based on what La Russa felt he needed. Marmol, on the other hand, got his job at a time when DeWitt was about to start spending less money on payroll, and a burned-out general manager, John Mozeliak, who was very, very good for a long time, he pretty much was shot by them, and he had been making a bunch of payroll mistakes and trade mistakes that were paramount in the decline of the St. Louis Cardinals. My purpose of the comparison is not to denigrate Tony La Russa, the winningest manager in Cardinals franchise history and the second winningest manager in Major League history. I just wanted to point out a prominent example of why I believe Marmol has done a better job than he gets credit for. Simple as that. When I return for my second segment of the Birdie Show, I'm going to explain why Chaim Bloom respects Oli Marmol and evidently obviously plans to keep Oli in the dugout as the Cardinals manager beyond 26. But first, I'm going to remind you that DraftKings is officially open for business in Missouri, live and legal and fun. Let's go. Missouri residents, it's time to get started on DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app. 1 week in, the early response by Missouri sports fan has been enthusiastic, emphatically so. So come on in and join the fun. Now you can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more, and do it all from your phone. It's all safe, it is secure, and it's so easy to use. Missouri fans know all about game day in any sport. It's a great state for sports. The tailgates, the noise, the passion, the color, the excitement, the vibe. And now DraftKings Sportsbook, with them, you can bring that same energy to every touchdown, every goal scored, every 3-point shot made. Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense. Just instant action, powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. So, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code STLSports. New Missouri customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code STLSports. So don't forget to use that to unlock the $300 in bonus bets with only an initial $5 wager. And the crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. It must be 21 or over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming information and gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. All right. Thanks to DraftKings. Thanks to you for sticking with me. Welcome back to the second segment of The Bernie Show. All right, so let's take a look at why Chaim Bloom is so approving of Oli Marmol's performance as manager, and seems pretty obvious he wants to keep him in the job beyond 26. Number one, I think Bloom is well aware of the reduced talent level on the rosters Marmol has worked with, because Bloom has spent 2 years studying those rosters and observing those rosters. Number two, Chaim Bloom is well aware of Marmol being put in a position of trying to win with a team that was lowering payroll, preparing for a rebuild, auditioning young players to see during regular season games to see if they should be part of the nucleus of future Cardinals teams. Number three, Bloom knows full well that Marmol took over to manager at a time when the Cardinals player development program was fading and falling and crashing, and the payroll was falling, and a lot of it being wasted. And all of this put the team at an obvious disadvantage, as everybody should know. Fourth, as a leader of the rebuild, Bloom knows that Marmol can handle the responsibility of being patient, communicating effectively with the players, keeping the environment as positive as could be during the hard times that come in the torrent of losses that are typical of a rebuild. In these conditions, you can't have a manager that's blowing a gasket and going nuts, getting sour and demoralized during these inevitable times where it seems like they're not going to win a game for a week, for 2 weeks or whatever. See, Marmol's temperament and demeanor are a good fit for what the Cardinals are about to do, and I'm not sure why people don't understand that part of it. Marmol understands the Bloom plan because he is a part of the plan, because he will play a major role in guiding a very young team that's still growing and adapting and adjusting to the major league level with all the setbacks and growing pains that come with it. In this kind of situation, the president of baseball operations and the manager of the team must be fully aligned in understanding and pursuing the goals. They have to be in a compatible place, or else it's a disaster. The players like Marmol, and they like playing for Marmol. That's because he builds and nurtures relationships. He's really strong with that. He keeps a clear channel of communication open. Players can come to his office and know they can talk about anything, even if they're dissatisfied and got a gripe about how Marmol is using them. He wants to hear from them about anything, even if they're mad at him, let's say. And young players who lose confidence also tend to become fragile. Jordan Walker, a good example. So it makes no sense to have a manager treating them like dogs. That's not going to help. Hold the players accountable, yeah, but there's a proper way to do that. This team may not win a lot of games over the next 2 or 3 seasons, and the last thing the Cardinals need is a maniac manager, unless, of course, Marmol is getting after the umpires. That's actually entertaining. Anyway, when I return for my third and final segment of today's Bernie Show, I want to explain why Bloom is taking a risk and keeping Oli Marmol. And I'm going to address the question, should Marmol's lack of popularity, or so it seems, with the fan base be a factor in this decision to keep him? Before that, I have a message about Blue Chew. Fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to rise up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. Something new. I'm talking about next level championship belt gold-plated energy. Here's what I mean. Blue Chew Gold. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the number one chewable ED brand. This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking about Blue Chew Gold with having additional ingredients for blood flow to keep that launch of your rocket going and to keep it pumping to connect your brain and your body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works in as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it busy quicker and you can stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation is the way I like to put it. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. I'll put it this way. Next time she sends you one of those, "Hey, are you up?" text messages, just answer with a picture of Blue Chew tablet. I think that she'll get the message. I'll put it this way. You can make your life easier by getting harder. So discover your options at bluechew.com. And yeah, I'm being a naughty boy here. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with the code Bernie. That's promo code Bernie. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Bernie Show and giving me the chance to help my fellow guys out there. All right, welcome back to the third segment of the Bernie Show here on STL Sports Central. Let me say this about Bloom's apparent but unofficial to this point decision to stay with Marmol, who has only one more season left under contract as a Cardinals manager, and that season would be the 2026 season. But again, a contract extension based on Bloom's effusive praise seems pretty damn obvious, right? When I was asked about this last week on KMOX, I said I didn't see the need to rush into anything and extend the contract now or in the real near future. Let it play out, I said. Plus, if Marmol is as unpopular as it seems, there's no reason to aggravate the customers again. So, and to do it early in the 2026 cycle. So in a way, this is also kind of a business decision. But I agonize over things. I kept thinking about this, and here's some of the stuff that I realized. Number one, if Bloom wants Marmol to manage the Cardinals, then Marmol should manage the Cardinals. Bloom was recruited by Bill DeWitt Jr. to become the baseball CEO of this franchise, which comes with a lot of authority and a lot of power, so to speak. And now that Bloom is in charge, he's going to make the decisions that he believes absolutely are the best decisions for the Cardinals. And to put him in a situation where he lacks authority and the freedom to choose his own manager, that would be absolutely ludicrous, and it would contradict the whole reason for bringing him in. Secondly, Bloom ultimately, and this is important, whether you like Oli, ambivalent about Oli, or you dislike Oli, this is important. Bloom ultimately will be judged for every decision he makes. And if Oli Marmol doesn't manage up or measure up to Bloom's expectation, if Marmol disappoints Bloom or frustrates Bloom, or if the losing gets so bad and Marmol cracks under the weight of a massive rebuild, then Chaim Bloom's probably going to have to change managers. And if he does, the decision to bring Oli Marmol back and to extend him, well, that's all on Chaim Bloom, because Chaim Bloom had the freedom to go another way in selecting a manager. But if Bloom made a decision to retain Marmol based on his popularity, Oli's popularity rating with the fans, in other words, well, yeah, I better get a new manager. We can sell more tickets. Well, I would flat out question Bloom's integrity. He can't be making decisions based on scoring cheap points with fans on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called. Bloom must settle on decisions based on what he believes is the right thing to do for this baseball operation during a rebuild. Now, fans, as I said, you obviously have the right to disapprove, and this decision could lead to fewer tickets sold and lower amount of revenue. But Bloom was hired to rebuild the farm system, the player development structure. He's done a great job with that so far. Now he's moving on to the next level, and he is going to rebuild the major league team. And he's brought in a lot of people that are going to help him do that, and he wants Oli Marmol to be part of that team. Ultimately, this is how Chaim Bloom will be judged. Let's keep it simple. He will be judged on the success or the failure of the rebuild. And the overwhelming percentage of that outcome will be determined in a way that has actually little to do with the manager. No, it will come down to how effectively Chaim Bloom procures enough good or great talent to give the Cardinals a successful and exciting and entertaining team that the fans will embrace, and they will be motivated to come back to the ballpark. That's the reality. And that reality transcends all other considerations, including Oli Marmol and his popularity level right now. Listen, thank you all for watching. And as always, feel free to post your comments. We appreciate that very much. All opinions are welcome here, so you can rip away if you want. It's all good. Thanks to DraftKings presenting the Bernie Show here at STL Sports Central. And I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday. Thank you again for watching the Bernie Show.